All right, let's take a look at our second type of transformation, a reflection. So reflection across line M, okay? For every line, or for every reflection, it's always will be reflected over a line. This is called the line of reflection. Sometimes you hear me call it the line of symmetry. Okay, it's that line that mirrors our image and our pre-image. So these are the following properties that will take place. Okay, if point A is on the line of reflection, line M here, then the image of A is itself. So this is A prime. So this point is A, this is A prime. If a point is not on the line, like B is not, okay, then it's the perpendicular bisector of BB to line M. So that means that if I drew a line from the B to B prime, it would be perpendicular to the line of reflection. So you write the reflection across M that takes P to P prime, such as R, the reflection, so we're going to use the letter R sub M, cross line M of point P is going to be P prime. Now you can use the equation of a line in reflection the function notation. For example, if our line was y equals x, then you'd say the reflection of across line y equals x describes reflection across line y equals x. So let's take a look here at our first example. Point P has coordinates of 3, 4. So the first thing we want to do is we want to identify point 3, 4. This is going to be point P. So we're going to go to 3 and then 4 on the y. This is going to be our point P. Now what are the coordinates of the reflection across line y equals 1 for point P? So let's draw a line. It's going to cross the y-axis at 1. That means this line will be like so. Now, next thing we do is we want to count how many units is this line above, this point above the line. Well, that's going to be 1, 2, 3 units above. So therefore, this is going to be 3 units below. So we got 1, 2, and 3. So I made this a little big here. So 1, 2, and then 3. So we have 3 units here. So this is where our new point is going to become. This will be point P prime. So this right here, so the reflection across line y equals 1 of point P will become P prime, which is going to be located at a positive 3 and a negative 2. Notice that reflection across the y-axis, the x value does not change, but the y value does. Okay, so let's take the next one. Reflection across the line x equals 1 for point P to P prime. What are the coordinates of P? So once again, we'll use the same points we had before. Okay, so we start off with 3 and then 4. That's our point P. So then we reflect it across the line y equals 1, which put it down here at 3, negative 2. This is point P prime. So now I want to change things up a little bit. Let's do the reflection of cross line x equals 1 of point P prime. And that will give us point P double prime. So let's find the new coordinates. So this time we're going to have a line that crosses at x equals 1. So we draw a line here, x equals 1, draw my line down. That is my line of reflection. So I'm 2 units to the right, which means I'm going to go 2 units to the left. So 1, 2, which puts me at this point here. This becomes my P double prime. So P double prime is going to be located at negative 1 on the x and a negative 2 on the y. So there's a new location. All right, so let's take a look at the next. Properties of reflections. Reflections preserve distance. So they're an example of a rigid motion. They also preserve angle measure. So the reflection across line M of point A is A prime, just like the drawing we saw before. B is B prime and C to C prime. The measure of angle A, ABC, is going to be the same as the measure of angle A prime, B prime, C prime. So they're saying that these two angles are the same. Angle C and C prime would be the same. So reflections map each point of the preimage to one and only one corresponding point of its image. So the reflection across line M of point A is equal to A prime if and only if the reflection across line M of A prime is equal to A. So if you go backwards, they should equal each other. So let's take a look at here graphing some points. So let's take a look at point A. So mark it at -3 and a +4. So there's our first point, which is point A. Second point is at 0 on the X and 1 on the Y, point B. And then point C is 4 and then 2. So this is going to be point C, 4 on the X, 2 on the Y. So let me put point B down here a little bit lower. So now let's draw a line that connects these. All right, so we have our shape. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to reflect it across the y-axis. So we have point A, which we said was at -3, 4. And this will become A prime. So where would it be? Well, we're going to reflect it over the line across the y-axis, which means it is 1, 2, 3 units away to the left, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3 units away on the right. So this is going to be at a +3, 4. So we'll do this different color. This is going to be our A prime. So these points, and we'll go fill these in at the end. B is on the axis of symmetry, or the line of reflection, so that's going to be also B prime. And then C is 4 units to the right, so we're going to be 4 units to the left, the same Y value. This will be C prime. So we'll draw this line here. Notice here that B was on the line of reflection, so it stayed the same. So there's our second points here. Now we'll go through and fill out our chart. A prime is going to become +4 and, or excuse me, +3 and +4. B, which was at 0 and 1. After the reflection, it's still going to be at 0 and 1. And then C. C is located at now, it was located at before 4, 2. And now C prime is going to be located at -4, +2. All right, so for the next part, I want you to take the original graph and I want you to reflect it over the x-axis. So you can do this on the same graph, but I want you now to give us, we'll call this B double prime, just so that we can help identify it on the same graph. So go ahead and do that now. Pause the video, come back and check your work when you're done. All right, let's see how you did. We're reflecting it across the line, the x-axis, which means that the original figure here in green will flip down here. So A is 4 units to the, or 3 units to the left and 4 units up, so it's going to be 3 units to the left and 4 units down. B will be at 0, 1 to start off with. It will be at 0, -1 to end up at. And then C prime, or C double prime, is going to be at the original C, which is at 4, 2, so it's going to be at 4 and -2. All right, so let's take a look now at the next part. So this will be part 2 of the series, which will cover examples 3 and 4.